I'm happy to be presenting in person this year. Today, I'll talk about how AI, more specifically chatbot technologies, are being used to support mental health care. The talk is titled Chatbots as Therapeutic Aids because it's exactly how I see them, not as replacements for therapists, but as helpful companions. I'll walk you through how these systems are built, the clinical use cases where they're proving effective, and the key ethical design principles we need to prioritize when deploying them. So let's start with why chatbots even matter. We're all aware of the increasing demand for mental health care. Globally, we're facing a shortage of clinicians, particularly in rural and underserved areas. Even in well-resourced systems, waitlists for therapy can extend for weeks or months. Some people never make it to care because of stigma, cost, or logistical challenges. Many individuals delay or avoid seeking help because services are either unavailable or difficult to reach. This is where chatbots come in, not to replace human care, but to fill in the gaps. They offer support when no one else is available, and they're anonymous, accessible, and often free. So, what exactly can chatbots do in mental health? Many are designed to walk users through CBT exercises, like thought reframing or behavioral activation. Others prompt users to track mood, reflect in a journal, or do breathing exercises. They can encourage self-awareness, gently challenge negative thinking, or provide motivational nudges. And they can do all of this in real time, day or night. But it's important to emphasize that these tools are not therapists. They don't provide diagnoses or crisis counseling. They're best viewed as adjuncts, tools that complement the work of clinicians and help people build healthy habits outside the therapy room. Let's break down how a therapeutic chatbot works. The first component is language understanding. This is where the bot interprets what the user says, both in terms of content and emotion. Next is a dialogue management system. This decides how the bot responds, whether it follows a structured script or generates a response more flexibly using machine learning or deep learning. Then there are actual content modules. These include CBT tools, mindfulness exercises, psychoeducation, or journaling prompts. And finally, there is a safety layer. A well-designed chatbot will be able to detect risk signals, like someone mentioning suicidal thoughts, and escalate appropriately, such as referring the user to a helpline or alerting a human moderator if applicable. Let's take a quick look at three main approaches used in building conversational AI systems. Rule-based systems are the simplest type. They rely on handcrafted scripts and decision trees to generate responses. Their strength lies in predictability and safety. They're easy to control and won't go off script. However, they struggle with flexibility and they can't handle open-ended or unexpected input well. On the other hand, machine learning models improve on this by learning patterns from labeled examples. These systems are more adaptive and they can respond to a broader range of user input. But they're still limited by the scope of their training data and tend to lack deeper contextual understanding. Finally, we have transformer models like GPT, and these use attention mechanisms to understand and generate human-like language. They're highly context-aware, fluent, and versatile across many domains. However, they also require large data sets and computational resources, and they can generate incorrect or hallucinated responses if not carefully managed. Here I have a few examples of therapy chatbots currently used in the real world, along with the kind of evidence supporting them and some of the key findings. So first is Woebot, which is a CBT-based daily chatbot designed for mood tracking and support. It has undergone a randomized control trial showing a reduction in depression in 70 college students. The second one is WISA, which is combining AI with human support, and it focuses on mood tracking and journaling. It's been evaluated in large-scale pre- and post-studies, including within the NHS, and shows reductions in anxiety and depression. TESS is used by universities and health plans and has been assessed through partner-led evaluations. It also shows reduced depression and anxiety scores and is noted for high acceptability among the college students. UPER takes a mindfulness and CBT approach and was evaluated through App Store analysis. It showed decreased self-reported anxiety and depression among 23,000 users, but it lacks formal clinical trial data. I conducted a study at the Human Computer Interaction Lab at EPFL, where we explored how to design emotionally supportive conversations by creating a scoring system for evaluating satisfaction and engagement in distress dialogues. The idea was to use these insights to help train a therapeutic chatbot. Since access to real therapy transcripts is often limited, we used peer support forums which offer a useful proxy. To identify satisfaction predictors, we looked at how sentiment changed over the course of a conversation, from the initial to the final tone. We also analyzed expressions such as gratitude, disagreement, profanity, and even sarcasm. These features were extracted using a mix of NLP techniques and deep learning models. For engagement, we focused on indicators like the number of conversational turns, the balance between speaker and listener, interactivity levels, and overall word count. And each conversation was then scored using weighted scores that combined these features, allowing us to classify dialogues in a way that captures both emotional resonance and interactive depth. Based on our analysis of distress dialogues, we derived a set of guidelines for how therapeutic chatbots should respond to maximize both speaker satisfaction and engagement. So let's start with speaker satisfaction. Chatbots are more likely to foster positive feelings when their responses are acknowledging and encouraging, and when they relate to the user's experience in a validating way. Crucially, they should not express negative thoughts or come across as disapproving or judgmental. Those types of responses consistently reduce user satisfaction in our data. On the other hand, if the goal is to maintain engagement, the chatbot should focus on generating responses that ask more questions and offer advice. These strategies tend to keep users talking and help the conversation flow. Together, these insights help inform the design of emotionally supportive conversational agents that feel both affirming and engaging. So here, I summarize the findings from a 2023 systematic review and meta-analysis of 35 studies on AI-based conversational agents for mental health. The meta-analysis of 15 randomized controlled trials showed that these agents significantly reduce depression and distress symptoms. The most effective chatbots were multimodal, used generative AI, were integrated into messaging apps, and targeted clinical or older populations. In terms of user feedback, these were the positive ones. So the study identified several themes that contributed to positive user experience, grouped into these three main domains. First was therapeutic alliance support. Users appreciated features like empathic and non-judgmental communication. accountability through check-ins, and human-like personalities. They also value tailored feedback and a sense of relationship with the chatbot. These support the findings from our case study as well. Second, the content of the conversations mattered. Users responded positively to specific therapeutic techniques and the richness and depth of the content provided. And finally, the learning process. Participants in multiple studies noted that they were able to learn and grow through their interactions with the chatbot, reinforcing its perceived value. Overall, these findings underline the importance of emotional intelligence, relevance, and relational depth in designing effective therapeutic chatbots. On the other hand, one of the most common issues was communication breakdown. Users felt that the chatbot failed to properly understand or respond to their input. There were also some content issues that were frequently mentioned in the feedback, including dissatisfaction with a topic or depth of conversation, as well as the format, whether responses felt rigid or repetitive. In some cases, users described the chatbot as feeling too impersonal, which undermined the sense of emotional support. Finally, the participants with more severe symptoms often expressed a preference for human support, highlighting the importance of offering escalation pathways or hybrid models. These findings stress the need to improve contextual understanding, personalize content, and ensure human backup options in therapeutic chatbot design. When designing therapeutic chatbots, it's essential to build in strong clinical and ethical safeguards to ensure both safety and trust. First, we need to be clear about bot limitations. Users should always be informed that chatbots are not clinicians and not a substitute for professional care. Next, robust crisis protocols must be in place. This means that the system should be able to detect signs of distress or risk and escalate the situation to a human responder when necessary. User protection is also key. This includes ensuring informed consent, treating users fairly, and maintaining transparency in how the chatbot operates. Finally, data handling must follow best practices for security and transparency. Sensitive user data should be protected at every stage of collection, storage, and use. These safeguards are not optional. They're foundational to building safe, responsible, and trustworthy digital mental health tools. Studies show that designing emotionally intelligent chatbots is key to having users satisfied and engaged. First of all, the tone matters. Chatbots should use language that is empathetic, reflective, and supportive. This helps users feel understood and emotionally safe. Cultural sensitivity is also crucial. Chatbots need to adapt to different languages, social norms, and communication styles to remain respectful and effective across diverse user experiences. Finally, collaborative creation is key. There should be a co-design process that involves users, clinicians, and mental health experts to ensure that the chatbot reflects real needs and values. Altogether, emotionally and culturally intelligent design is what allows AI to support, not just simulate, human connection. As we look ahead, there are several exciting directions for the future of therapeutic chatbots. First is personalization. Future systems will be able to adapt their tone, content, and interaction style based on each user's preferences, emotional state, and history, making support feel more personalized and meaningful. Second is blended care integration. Rather than functioning in isolation, chatbots can serve as adjuncts to clinical care, supporting users between sessions and helping clinicians monitor progress within a guided care model. Third, we'll see growth in multimodal interfaces, including voice-based conversations and integration with wearable technology. This can improve accessibility and provide richer, context-aware support. To wrap up, here are the key takeaways from this talk. First, chatbots offer accessible and scalable mental health support. They can reach users at scale, provide immediate assistance, and reduce barriers to care. Second, clinical evidence supports short-term improvements, especially in symptoms like depression and anxiety. While more long-term research is needed, early findings are promising. Third, ethical design and emotional intelligence are essential. Chatbots must be built with empathy, fairness, and cultural sensitivity to be truly effective and trustworthy. And finally, these tools are best used to augment, not replace, human care. They can extend the reach of clinicians, provide support between sessions, and offer a bridge to more structured and care when needed. In short, when designed and used responsibly, therapeutic chatbots can be a powerful complement to the mental health ecosystem. Thank you very much.